Here we go. What is going on? Cover One crew. Welcome back to the show. Chris Chow's back with y'all. I told you I ain't going no place because we got so much content to dissect. Hope you guys had a great Mother's Day weekend. Treat those mamas right. You know what I'm saying. But we're continuing down the path of scouting reports, and we got Roschon Johnson, the other Texas Longhorn running back. Didn't get much praise, unfortunately, because he played behind a guy like Bijan Robinson. But what do you say? Roschon Johnson is the real deal. I truly believe it. I like his game a lot. There is some inadequacy in his game, but I will break it all down for y'all. It's going to be good stuff. Before we get started, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for me. We are continuing to grow, almost 600, road to 1,000. We are getting closer and closer. Thank you to all the new subscribers. But what do you say we talk a little Roschon Johnson, running back from Texas? You know, it is easy to be slept on when you play behind a guy like Bijan Robinson, and you're not going to get a lot of, national hype and attention, especially going into this draft class. And let's start there, man. With the NFL draft, those Chicago Bears, they selected my guy Roschon, 4th round, pick number 13. And I kind of felt this was kind of the right landing spot for him, for team-wise, based in the draft. I thought he might have gone in the late 3rd round, but the Bears snagged him at, rather early on day 3, and that's okay. Roschon is definitely a good running back. It was a deep, extremely deep running back class, and we talk about the depth the Bears have at this point. The Bears have done very well. And I think we got to, acknowledge that at this point right now. They are kind of, last year was on ground floor. This year they're on like floor 3 of what is like a 20-floor building. That's kind of how I see the analogy for these Chicago Bears, but there's a lot of good upside here. They've done a lot of good work and business for this team. We're talking running back depth right off the bat. They got rid of David Montgomery. He is now a Detroit Lion. He went in free agency, so they signed themselves D'Onta Foreman. They had Khalil Herbert, who also is my guy. Last year, I was beating the drum for a Khalil Herbert, man. Anybody who follows my work knows this. Everyone's sleeping on Herbert. I said he was an absolute glorious running back. I was a little shocked they got a D'Onta Foreman, but they were hedging their bets. They required the opposite skill set of what Herbert does, and now Roschon Johnson kind of mimics what a D'Onta Foreman is on the field, and I think they're a very similar running back. They got Travis Homer, and they got Tristan Ebner, who is another guy that I'm, hoping is going to do some damage. Ebner could be that, 3rd down running back, change of pace running back, but as it's starting to shake down right now, we could definitely see a backfield in the future between Khalil Herbert and a Roschon Johnson because the Bears are doing some business. Man, I'm telling y'all, man, they made that trade with the 1st-round pick, and they got themselves DJ Moore. They got Chase Claypool. Darnell Mooney's coming back from that injury. They drafted a Tyler Scott. They got Quiminiminus Satan Brown. I can never pronounce his name. I'm just going to rhyme it off that way. But, you got Cole Kmet. They decided to stick with Justin Fields. It's a good roster overall. They are building in the right direction, and they beefed up the offensive line just a little bit. They added to the defense. Tremaine Edmonds, TJ Edwards. You guys still had Eddie Jackson, the cornerstone of this defense. Brisker's in the mix. Kyler Gordon, just an unbelievable roster that you're building with youth and high-end potential. And we're talking this running back core with a Roschon Johnson. You are adding a very good running back to a room that he could definitely, beat out a D'Onta Foreman. I'm not even kidding about that. Likely won't happen this year. And I think Foreman's only signed for a 1-year contract, but they are hedging their bets and they are looking in that right direction. I really do like what the Chicago Bears are doing. Bears fans, you got to be happy with what you see right now. But what do you say we dive into those measurables? Roschon stands at 6 foot 219. He is 22 years of age, played 4 years with the Longhorns, 47 games, 392 in attempts, 2190 in yards, a good 5.6 on the average, and a nice 23 rushing touchdowns, He's no slouch in this receiving game either. Nobody gives this man the credit where it's due. 56 receptions, 420 in yards, 7.5 on the average, and added 3 receiving touchdowns. So you can see, statistically speaking, even though he was, basically the change of pace running back, given the running back like Bijan breathers and such, he still produced. He was able to move the ball with high levels of consistency and regularity. So I don't know why people were sleeping on Roschon. He is a quality running back. Like I said, this draft was extremely deep with these guys. But let's talk some pros, man. He's got some good ones. Good body type, great body type, 6 feet 219. Gotta love it, man. Stout, put together frame. He is definitely able to take the punishment. He does have athletic ability, where some say he doesn't. That is lies. Do not believe him. I mean, tape speed, we'll sit there as well, because the athletic ability is one thing. I'll keep going with that, but the tape speed is good. It's better than how he tested. 4.58 in the 40 time is not good, and that's likely why he fell a little bit in this draft. Also, a lot of the speed characteristics will not, promote a Roschon Johnson to high levels, but the tape speed is definitely good enough. If we're going to compare to another type of running back, we got to talk Dameon Pierce, right? It's a very similar type of running back style, and Dameon Pierce ran the 40 at 4.59. So, I mean, Dameon Pierce is lighting up the league in his rookie year. We could see the same from Roschon Johnson, even though he may have to wait his turn in this backfield, where Houston was dying for a running back last season. But Roschon definitely has more than enough speed to get into the open field. He's got good shake, hurdle, and juke is definitely there. That's part of the athletic ability traits that I'm talking about. Is it on the elite trends? No, but he can definitely do it and showcase it, and he will do that in the NFL as well. Do not sleep on that man's abilities in that respect as well. Inside-outside ability is definitely there. More inside than outside, but I want to see, like I always scout and say, can you do it once? Can you do it twice? Now you get my checkbox. This is all part of the mantra and how we scout these players. One-hit wonders, man, you're not going to get the checkbox from me. It's got to be done with some levels of consistency, and then you're going to get the checkboxes from me, and he can go outside, but he is likely better in between the tackles than going outside. Vision and patience is very good. It's not great, it's not elite, but it's good, and I think he will be able to exploit it in the NFL with a good offensive line, and as the Bears continue to rebuild this offensive line, it could be very good in year 2, year 3, as they continue to move forward. His patience is good. He sets up, it lets his blockers set up the open lanes and the gaps, and then he's able to go free. It's good, not great, not elite. It's still good enough for me to put as a pro. Very good stiff arm. He is powerful. He's a powerful human at point of contact. The drop shoulder, stiff arm. He is going to break tackles. He is that type of runner. The relentless style type of runner, breaking tackles all over the field, slipping people by lifting his legs, dropping the shoulder, initiating contact, looking for that contact. This is definitely part of Roschon Johnson's game, and you guys are going to love it in Chicago, because that is kind of what you look for in your running backs. No kidding. He is a great downhill runner, and I think that's the caveat with his speed, that he does possess a second gear. Is it a great second gear? No, but at least he can downshift into that second gear once he does get into the open field just a little bit. Is he going to get caught? We'll talk about that in the cons, but the downhill running ability is definitely there. He's not a, west-east runner, more north-south, and that's where he's going to be home in the pros. He does have 3-down back appeal, y'all. And I think that's going to be, something that they're going to be able to showcase. Something like Khalil Herbert did this past year, which made somebody like a David Montgomery expendable. They didn't want to pay that high-end price tag on the open market in free agency, and they knew what Khalil Herbert was able to accomplish, even though Herbert went down with that injury. So you're talking, durability concerns potentially with a Herbert. Now you bring in guys like Foreman, you bring in a guy like Roschon, and now you're talking about the ability to have that ground and pound punishment you're looking for from your running backs. Roschon is no joke in that respect. Underrated receiving skills, like I'm saying. And okay, you got a guy like Bijan playing in front of you. There's not going to be a lot of targets to go and swing to your direction, so you got to understand what you're getting and evaluate it correctly. And I think that this is shouldn't be a knock on a lot of people's radar, and I saw some scouts downgrade his hands. I do not see what they see in that respect either. They're not bricks for hands. Are they soft like a wide receiver? No, but he is not a liability in the pass game. His receiving upside is definitely underrated in that respect. For the cons, he's got some... And it kind of all goes into that same category of speed and how he's going to be able to do this in the NFL. He does not possess top-end wheels. I mean, he just doesn't have it. He's not put together that way. And neither does somebody like a Deontay Foreman, but he's able to make things work. Neither does a Dameon Pierce. He's able to make things work. So do not say 4.58 is out of the question for a running back that has other abilities. And like I said, the juke and shake is definitely there in the open field. But I'll jump down to that one. He's not going to confuse you with being a shady McCoy whatsoever. That's not what I'm talking about when you're talking Roschon's shake, juke, and all that type of stuff, agile movements. It's not Shady McCoy. That's not what I'm saying at all. But he does have enough ability where he will make defenders miss in the open field. One-on-one, it's a 50-50 game, man. I'm telling y'all, Roschon will be able to do it 5 times out of 10, where sometimes he will have to initiate contact and try to gain extra yards and fall forward that way. He does fall forward a lot, which is another big positive in that respect. He will get caught from behind, like I'm saying. With those top-end wheels not being there, it is a big problem. Limited burst, it is not special, and here we go. You see where I'm going with this. It's all part of the speed game. It's all part of the burst and accelerator game. The accelerators are decent. That's why I say he's got that second gear, but the burst is definitely limited on that side. Definitely not special, and I think another category and why these teams allowed him to fall into the 4th round, man. Running style could shorten his career, and this is true of any running back who initiates punishment, who goes after would-be tacklers and tries to bowl them over. It will likely shorten your career because the mileage does add on very quickly, and the tread on the tires gets ripped off extremely fast. So you got to understand, Roschon's career could be anywhere from 5 to 8 years, and then that's it. That's all that's said and done. But we'll see, right? And he's going to likely be a split back anyway in the NFL. You're going to have somebody with wheels that's going to spell him out and be that change of pace back, but he is very good in this respect and could be a 3-down running back in the NFL. He did split carries with Keontae Ingram in 2019, and then he played behind Bijan in 2020 to 2022. So, I mean, he was always in a multi-backfield set. He did play very well in 2019, but you wanted to see him take that leadership role. Did not necessarily happen in 2019, but, I mean, Bijan is a freak of nature, and nobody's going to be doing, taking the bread out of his mouth unless you're someone like Saquon Barkley on the same field. But, I mean, even Bijan would have something to say about that. But, I mean, for grading purposes, I had to knock him down on some of these traits, man. There was nothing else I could do. I got to be fair, unbiased, and reasonable in all my evals. 71.8% I give Roschon Johnson. It is low on the lower trend for these running backs right now, but that does not tell the tale of what he could potentially be in the NFL as a quality running back. Nobody was believing in a Khalil Herbert. Now look at this, man. What was Khalil in the 6th round? I'm telling y'all, you can find running backs late. We all know this, and they can be very productive. As the Chicago Bears continue to morph their offense, continue to add players, they're going to have a lot of focus and emphasis on this run game. They're going to utilize running backs, and these backs do go down with injury. Foreman's got an Achilles history where he did tear that Achilles, so you never know what could happen. And in drafts, man, you're talking dynasty drafts, you go and get yourself a Roschon, you put him on that taxi squad because he could be a gem in the making. So there you have it. That is Roschon Johnson, Texas Longhorn product, now Chicago Bear. Okay, and you guys got yourselves a gem in the making, even though the numbers do not go in the favor of running backs picked on day 3 to have a lot of NFL success and potential. But this running back class was extremely deep and heavy. That's why a lot of these guys did fall. There were other key positions that teams wanted to pick before they were snagging these running backs. So definitely do not sleep on a Roschon Johnson, because he could be a big one. And kudos to, the Chicago Bears front office staff for sticking with Justin Fields. It was the right move, man. Over a Bryce Young, 100% right move. Getting DJ Moore, you got to love it. But nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. What do you guys think of Roschon Johnson? You like him? Bears fans, what are you thinking of your team? The build is real. You guys will be there in a couple years, and I'm telling y'all, do not sleep on them this year. They will be much improved, but nevertheless, we'll see you next time. I am out.